Let's do quick revision of chapter 10 of class 10th, and the name of the chapter is Light, Reflection and Refraction. Now we will discuss few important topics of this chapter. First of all, we will study the phenomenon of reflection of light, and before this, what are the laws of reflection? The laws of reflection there are the two laws. First one is angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. It means if we see this figure, this is the plane mirror, just like this. If plane mirror is one side polished, so this dash shows the polished part, this one, and this is the plane mirror. And this ray is called incident ray, and this ray is called reflected ray, and this is the normal in between them. So angle I equal to angle R. This is the first rule. Second rule is that the incident ray, this is the incident ray, reflected ray and normal. At the point of incident, normal and reflected ray all lie in the same plane. These are the two laws of reflections which we will follow in the plane mirror as well as in spherical mirrors. There are two types of spherical mirrors. One is concave mirror, other is convex mirror. Concave mirror is inside part of this concave mirror is the reflecting part. This is the reflecting part inside one, and outer is polished part. But in the convex, the inner part is polished and outer part is reflecting surface. So this is the main difference between concave and convex mirror. And in concave mirror, this mirror is used in shaving mirrors, head mirrors, headlights and solar furnaces. And convex mirrors are used always in the rear view in the vehicles, so that they can give erect and diminished image and have wider view of area behind the vehicle. So before studying these different image formation in the concave and convex mirror, we have some terms that we have to define. First one is principal focus of concave mirror. If we see this structure, this is concave mirror, there are few terms. When the principal focus is this part where all the rays are meeting here, F. It is represented by capital F, and it is defined as a point on the principal axis where the light rays travel parallel to the principal axis after reflection actually meet. For example, this is the concave mirror, and if we draw its different parts, this is the pole P at the aperture of the mirror, and if we draw it circular, then there is some center in between, then this is called center of curvature, and between C and P, this is principal focus. If a ray parallel to principal, this is principal axis, the straight line passing through P, F and C is called principal axis. If a ray parallel to principal axis, then after reflection it passes through the principal focus. Similarly, two rays are required for the making formation of the images, then again it passes through the focus. So after reflection, both the rays meet at a point on the principal axis, and this point is called principal focus. So this is about the principal focus. But one more difference between the principal focus of the concave and convex. But in the convex, the phenomenon is different because inner part is polished and outer part is reflecting surface. So if we draw it in a circular shape, because it is spherical mirror, center is always behind the mirror, and this is the focus and this is the pole, and it is also called diverging mirror. This mirror is called converging mirror because all rays converging at a point after reflection. But in this case, all the rays, when the ray come parallel to the principal axis, after reflection it diverted, so it is called diverging mirror. And similarly, another ray parallel to principal axis is diverted, but the principal rule will be same. After reflection, if the ray parallel to principal axis, then after reflection it passes through the focus. So it appears to pass through the focus because always image formation in the convex mirror is behind the mirror. So this is always after reflection they appear to meet. So this is the difference in the principal focus of the concave and convex mirror. And similar, another term is center of curvature. It is the center of the sphere where spherical mirror is a part. For example, if I draw a sphere the central part is called center of curvature. And if I took this part of the mirror where upper part is polished, so this is called concave mirror. If I took this part and inner side is polished, so this behave like a convex mirror. Another one is the focal length. Now the next is focal length. The distance between P and F is called focal length, that I told you. If I see this figure, then you can say what is the focal length. Different distance between P and F, this distance is called focal length. Here is this focal length. So principal axis contains these points C, F and P. If this is a concave mirror just like this, then P and F distance is called focal length. So next one is radius of curvature. Radius of curvature is the linear distance between pole and center of curvature. So every circle has a radius. So this is the radius. So F, and what is the relation between R and F? R is double of focal length. So focal length is half of radius, R by 2. And what is the pole? Pole is the center of reflecting surface of the spherical mirror from where principal axis is drawn. And what is the principal axis? It is an imaginary line passing through the pole and center of curvature of the spherical mirror. These are the few points or the key points which you have to remember for making the diagram of concave and convex mirror. Now the next thing that you have to remember is mirror formula. Mirror formula is 1 upon F equal to 1 upon V plus 1 upon U, where U is object distance, V is image distance, F is focal length, and in the form of magnification, what is its formula? M equal to H dash upon H or minus M equal to minus V upon U. You can take these formulas for calculating the numericals. H dash is the height of image, M is called magnification, and H is the height of the object. Magnification means what is the comparison or how much shorter or longer is the image instead of object. So a magnification is used in this way. And to draw this diagrams and to calculate the sign conventions through the concave or convex mirror, first of all you have to take the sign convention rule. First, this is the concave mirror and spherical mirror, then Cartesian sign you have to use. This is the height of the object, which is always positive, just like Cartesian coordinates, x-axis, this is x-axis and upper is the y-axis. This is x dash and this is y dash. Upper side is positive, lower is negative, right is positive, left is negative. So if I took this mirror here, then when object is placed left side, so its value is always negative. If the image formation takes place behind this mirror, then it is always positive. V value is always positive. And height of the object is upper than the principal axis, this is positive, and lower inverted image always negative value. So these are the things that you have to keep in mind while calculating the numerical. And in this way, next topic is laws of refraction. Refraction is always takes place in glass or in water or in any other surface which is transparent. And what is its rule? Just like you have to see first this picture, there is a glass slab or any transparent medium where one medium is air, other is glass. When the light passes through medium 1 to medium 2, air is always called rare medium and glass is called denser. What do you mean by rare? Where speed of light is more, that is the rare medium. So speed of light in air is always more than glass. Denser is that medium where speed of light is less. It becomes slow down when it enters from rare to denser medium. So it bends towards the normal. These are the some phenomena that you have to keep in mind while doing this topic, laws of refraction. So for example, there is a glass and here is the light. First of all, you have to draw a perpendicular, and this is the incident ray, and this angle is called angle of incidence, and this is the air medium and this is the glass medium. So this is rare medium, this is denser medium, and the rule is that when the ray go from rare to denser, instead of going straight, it bends towards the normal because its speed slows down. And again, when this ray goes from glass to air, instead of going this, it move away from the normal. This is the rule. And if we keep this glass in without this glass, the ray always move in a straight line. There is no changes, and you can see through the glass lab experiment, and this is also present in my Super Vigyan. You can see that video, refraction in a glass lab or prism. So what are the laws of refraction? First law is the incident ray, this is the incident ray, the refracted ray, this one, and the normal, this is the normal, at the point of interface of two transparent medium. This is the point O. O is the point of interface. All lie in the same plane. This is the first law. Second law, the ratio of sine of angle of incident to the sine of angle of refraction is a constant value for the light, given color light, and for the given pair of medium. And this law is known as Snell's law of reflection. Always remember. This constant value is called refractive index of the second medium with respect to the first medium. Because ray goes from first to second, so refractive index we will take second with respect to 1. It changes. And what is the refractive index of the medium? If we find refractive index of the medium, what is its formula? Then the speed of light in vacuum, speed of light in any medium. Vacuum, where speed of light is always constant, that its value is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. And you have to note that refractive index is a unitless quantity because speed upon speed it cancel out, so it is a constant value and it has no SI units. So if we say refractive index of medium 2 with respect to 1, then it is represented by N21. If we say refractive index of the medium 1 with respect to medium 2, N12, this is written as N12, and speed of light in medium 1 is V1, speed of light in medium 2 is V2. So what is the formula for refractive index of the medium 2 with respect to 1? That is N21 equal to V1 upon V2, and refractive index of medium 1 with respect to 2, it is N12 equal to V2 upon V1. And if we do the product of both the refractive index of 1 with respect to 2 and 2 respect to 1, if we see, this is V1 upon V2 and this is V2 upon V1, and they cancel out, it means N21 equal to 1 upon N21. They are reciprocal to each other. Now what is we will study about the ray diagram of refraction of light through a glass slab. I hope you have seen the glass slab in the laboratories, and this is a transparent glass slab. This is rectangular in shape, just like this, having 4 corners A, B, C and D. ABCD is a glass slab, and this EF is called EO. This is incident ray. O dash is the refracted ray. O dash H is the emergent ray. And when we draw it, you can see there is some gap in between these. Perpendicular shift is there in the path of light seen when it emerges out from the refracting medium is called lateral displacement. This displacement is called lateral. Instead of this ray going through this path, it goes through this path due to refraction of light. So this displacement, the gap between these two parallel rays is called lateral displacement. Angle I1 is called angle of incident, R1 is called angle of refraction, and R2 is called angle of emergence. So angle of incident I1 is always equal to angle of emergent. Both the angles should be equal. So emergent ray is parallel to the incident ray when the light is passing through the glass slab. Now most important question is that sometimes the question is asked, what about that if a glass slab is there and if the light is fall perpendicular on the glass slab, is there any refraction taking place? So there is no bending of ray light because angle I and angle R both are equal to 0. So there is no refraction will take place. This box content is very important. always asked in the question, that is exceptional. And one more thing is the lateral displacement in this topic. Now what is the lens formula? You have seen the mirror formula. In the mirror formula here is plus sign, but in the lens formula this is the negative sign. 1 upon v minus 1 upon u equal to 1 upon f, and magnification is equal to m equal to h dash upon h equal to v upon u. U is the object distance, v is image distance, f is called focal length, m is magnification, h dash is image or height of image, and h is the object height. So these are the some symbols used in the lens formula. Now there are two type of spherical lenses. One is convex lens, other is concave lens. Convex lens is called converging lens because all the ray of light coming parallel to the principal axis after refraction through the lens passes through the focus, and all the rays converges at a point, and so it is known as converging lens. But concave lens is called diverging lens, and most important, the main difference between these two lenses are convex lens is always thicker in medium, and the shape of the convex lens is like this, which is thicker in the medium and thinner at the edges. But in the concave lens the shape is like this, which is thicker at the corners, thicker at the edges, and thinner at the middle. So this is the main difference between convex and concave lenses. Now let us see how convex lens is called converging. The rule will be same. If the ray is parallel to principal axis, it passes through the focus. But the main difference between the mirror and the lens is that lens is always transparent. So it is made up of two spherical glasses, and this is called optical center. This is called f1. Every lens has two focus, two center of curvature, because it is made up of two spherical glasses, f2 and 2f2. So when the ray is parallel to principal axis, after refraction is passed through the focus. Another focus is on the right side, and similarly in this, when the ray is parallel to principal axis, it diverted and they appear to pass through the focus f1. And last topic in this chapter is power of lens. Power of lens is defined as reciprocal to the focal length. Means P equal to 1 upon F. But the main thing that you have remember, F should be always in meters. For example, in the question, focal length is given 10 centimeter. So you have to convert 10 centimeter into meter. 10 upon 100, 1 centimeter. 1 meter equal to 100 centimeters, so 1 centimeter equal to 1 upon 100. So its value will be 0.1 meter. You can write this. And F is always expressed in meter. And what is the SI unit of power? That is called dioptry. And 1 dioptry equal to meter inverse. 1 meter inverse. It can be written as, this is about the power of lens. And these are the few questions on the basis of the above examples or above topic. You can do these questions in your notebook and do the practice of these questions. And numerical is very, very important of this chapter, always come in the exams. So do the practice of these questions from the NCERT book. I hope you understand the concept very clearly. So keep watching Super Vigyan. Thank you so much.